morning everybody, welcome to Etihad Stadium. That's me, Nick Giddings. What we're going to talk to you about today, in the main we're here today for us to demonstrate and show you eBroker for PowerPlace, our latest proposition. During the session please throw any questions at us. Before I do that I just want to go through a bit of background on PowerPlace and more importantly the SME market and where experts are saying that things are moving. So in a snapshot, I think you all understand what we are as PowerPlace, delivering a platform for what is now 1,200 brokers to access a variety of insurers' products, giving the efficiencies of single key and multiple markets and you issuing the documents for yourself. A really good stat on there, and it is a real stat. We are now delivering a quote every 5 seconds. And that, for your interest, is our panel of insurers, but many of you know that. So what are we doing next for you, our brokers? Before I get into that, I think it's important that we talk about the commercial lines market as a whole, and that slide is a graphical representation of the commercial lines GWP in 2011. Bottom axis being the number of employees, the complexity of the product, and it's important when we're talking as industry about e-trade. That we realise that one size doesn't fit all. I've segmented this slide in terms of large complex commercial risks, of which there's a £10 billion opportunity, down to the micro end, and the terminology that I use is that e-trade doesn't mean auto rate. We as PowerPlace are, particularly for eBroker for PowerPlace, are just talking about the auto rate, so it's the small premium, low margin for you as a broker, where we need to deliver the most efficiencies, and that's where we're pointing eBroker for PowerPlace. Some market stats. These are data monitor stats that at this event we all talk about, but until you see it visually, you get the real impact. So from 2004 through to 2011, what we as brokers are controlling in that SME segment of commercial lines, not commercial lines in total, just that small SME segment. Back in 2004, as much as 99%, 2011 dropping to below 60%, and we all know where that business is going, whether it's direct to the insurer, comparison sites, online. And if we look at the current buying behaviour from those SMEs, as I said earlier, we as brokers dominate the commercial line space in terms of 83% of the market, but that number in 2012 in terms of SME as a segment is down to 50%. Within the data monitor research, a question that was asked of the SMEs directly was, if you're looking to switch your insurance needs at renewal, where would you go? A fact that we're all getting to understand, 42% plus looking online and to comparative websites. So what are we doing about that from a PowerPlace point of view? That's a diagram of what we are as PowerPlace, the marketplace for you as brokers to access the insurer's products, giving you all the efficiencies of everything I've already spoken about. The next step being that above where we are, that we've been able to do since being part of OpenGI. Again, from a PowerPlace point of view, using OpenGI's expertise in personal lines from an e-trade point of view, what we're able to do for you is to deliver a white labelled version of your own consumer-facing website that integrates with your back office, and it's that we're going to demonstrate today. So I'll hand over to Christina.
So from the Open Insurance website, we have links to obtain a quotation for property owners and a quotation for tradesmen. So if we select property owners, it will launch us into the securely hosted data capture. You can see that we've got our broker branding clearly defined. We can use our own colour schemes across the page, and then it is a single form data capture that will open up each of the risk groups as we complete the sections. So if we say that we're looking for a quotation for Nick, so we'll type in Nick's name. It will then require an email address, and the help desk clearly shows this is so we're able to confirm the quotation. And then we can also capture a contact number as well. Once we've completed the About You risk group, we can then move on to the letting experience. So what's Nick's interest in the property? So we can specify that he's the property owner and that he's been doing this for approximately 10 years. We can quote for 1 property or up to 6, and then it will stamp the cover date and time required to ensure the correct effective date is utilised. If we click to the next section, we'll now move on to complete details about the property. So what type of property are we looking to insure? So it's a house that was built in 1992. It isn't grade 2 listed, and now we need to confirm the risk address. So if we pop in there the property number and then the postcode, and then we can invoke our address lookup, which will return back the full address for us. We'll then move on to complete some information about the construction of the property. So the walls are made of non-combustible material, and the upper floors are made of non-combustible material. And then we can confirm which option best describes the roof. And then in what year was the property purchased. So if we now select next, and we'll complete the information about the occupancy. So what type of tenants occupy the property, so we can specify it's private rental 6 months or more, and that's 100% occupancy of that tenant type, and then whether or not any areas of the ground floor are unoccupied. So the cover that we require, so what's the rebuild cost of the property, and that confirms that it isn't just for the rebuilding as well, it will also take into account architect's fees, clearance, etc. Whether you require accidental damage, whether you require any contents cover for your landlords, and then whether you would like any rental income cover. So if we say that yes, we would like rental income cover, the value of the cover that we're looking for, and then how long we'd like that cover. So if we say we'd like that for 12 months, and then we do not require any subsidence cover. So now we'll move on to any optional covers. So whether we want 1 mil, 2 mil, 5 mil of property owner's liability, whether we need any employer's liability cover, and then whether we need any terrorism cover. It will then ask for our previous insurance details, so whether we've had any claims. And it will then take us on to complete a declaration. So if we can confirm that we can comply to that declaration set, we can then ask the system to obtain a quote for us. So it will fire all of that risk information off to the PowerPlace market, and then return the quotations for the panel that we've selected. So we have our results page, so we can see now that we've got a unique quotation reference confirming the details that have been provided. At this point, Nick will receive an email confirming the most competitive quote. All of his prospect information will be pushed into my OpenGI back office, and as the broker I'll also receive a confirmation that I've returned this quotation online to Nick. So with the panel we can see our insurers, it's confirming the price, and then it's picking up some instalment information that's been configured. We are able to look at more information for this particular insurer, so we can see here confirmation of the property cover that we've requested, and we're also able to view policy summary, policy wordings, etc. We can also choose to compare up to 3 schemes to ensure that we're selecting the most appropriate cover. So if we wish to compare NIG, RSA and LV, it will drop them each into our comparison window. We select the compare option, and then we can see the comparisons for the property cover, property excesses, and then the policy cover and the policy excesses. Each of these are highlighted as buy now, but it is possible, rather than allowing consumers to purchase immediately, you could have it displaying a call me button instead. I will select to purchase the NIG, and now I'll go through any post-quote questions required. So now on the right hand side it's confirming that we've selected NIG, and we've got their policy summary and their policy wording, which I can refer to at any point. So we have entered in the risk address. We now need to confirm the correspondence address. So there's our house number, there's our postcode, we'll get the address. Selecting next, it will then take us on to confirm whether there are any other interested parties in the property. and then it will confirm the payment choices that we have available to us. So we can pay by monthly direct debit, or we could choose to make a payment in full on a card. If we say that we're paying by monthly direct debit, it will then require the account details to be entered into the online screen. It's assuming that the policyholder and the account holder are the same. If they aren't, then we can amend it here. If we then select next, I will need to confirm that I've read the broker's T's and C's, happy with the policy summary, wording and the excess information. And then we will be redirected to a secure online payment gateway to take the deposit from my card. So we've now got a successful purchase. Nick will receive an email confirming that purchase, as the broker I'll receive an email confirming that online purchase, and in my back office I'll have the purchase record ready for me to convert. So here I am now in my back office, and if we search for that record that we've just had pushed in, so if we type in Nick's surname, and there's our record for Nick Giddings. We've got all of his contact details completed, and then we've got confirmation that we have our property owner's purchase record. So if we select that record, if we now take ourselves onto the policy diary, we can see the confirmation there of the payment. If we go back to the policy page and now choose to make the risk live, it will take us through any post-quote processing that we have specified in our back office. So this is confirming the insurer. We've got details about payment, and then any compliance documentation will be triggered. It will now search to see whether we've got Nick Giddings as a live client. We don't, so we can ask the system to create a new client for us. It will now create new client, new policy record, mark the risk as live on PowerPlace, generate all of my broker documentation and the insurer documentation, and push that into our print queue, ready for us to distribute via email.